All right, we're going to begin class in a child's pose. So toes together, knees wide, active child's pose. Reach your arms out in front of you, pop up onto your finger pads, claw at the earth, and start to pull your hips more towards your heels. As you wrap your shoulder blades down toward the mat, you can feel your core probably engage as you continue to send your hips backwards. You might be feeling some intense-ish hip flexor stretch here. Try to reach your forehead forward, drop it down again so you've got more space between the tops of your shoulders and your ears. Continue to reach your hips back. And then rise up to your hands and your knees. Realign your knees and heels in line with your hips. And we're going to take a few rounds of cow and cat here. So drop the belly, reach your heart forward, inner elbows forward, send your gaze up, really press through your hands and your knees. Exhale, press up into your cat. We're going to hold this cat pose for several breaths. So you're pulling your hips towards your ribs. Press away from the mat as much as you can. And whether your toes are tucked or untucked, press into the mat with everything that is, everything on your foot that is connecting. See if you can find a little bit more arch on every exhale. All right, and then gently let's drop it down to that heart opener into the cow pose again. Reach your inner elbows forward. And stay here for a couple breaths. Imagine the fronts of your shoulders can draw back even more. Continue to press down to the tops of your feet or your toes if they're tucked. All right, and then come into neutral. Tuck your toes and your hips back. Make your way to downward facing dog. So find a little bit of movement, get a little bit of shifty, maybe move hips. And then on an inhale, rise to your toes, come to the top of a plank pose, check your work, check your alignment, maybe you need to make a couple adjustments. And then on an exhale, chin to chest, roll your way up to downward facing dog. We're gonna do that 2 more times with breath. Inhale, carry you forward. Exhale, pull it back. And then once more like that. All right, this time come to the top of your plank pose and then just come down to forearms for forearm plank. Arms parallel to each other, forearms, or take your hands together. If your hands are your arms are parallel, spread your fingertips wide, reach your heart forward. Like gently draw your shoulder blades toward each other, low belly in. All right, then press up to one palm and then the other, press up and back, downward facing dog, deep breath in. Full breath out. Bend through both knees in your down dog. We're going to take a figure 4 here in down dog. So cross right ankle over left thigh, and then start to send both hips back, flex through the right foot. You might need to like really deeply bend that left knee in order to get the stretch. All right, uncross, and then other side. Left ankle over right thigh, flexing through left foot. All right, uncross, come back to your down dog. Bend knees, look towards the top of your mat, and on an exhale, step or hop all the way to the top, forward fold. Inhale, halfway lift. We're gonna stay here for a couple breaths. Fingertips to the mat or to your shins. Reach your shoulder blades back. Get strong and long. Press down and away with your feet. Start to feel that activation through the outsides of your thighs. Lift up through your inner arches of your feet here. All right, then very strong forward fold. Keep your kneecaps lifted if your legs are straight. If your knees are bent, absolutely fine. All right, then take your peace fingers around your big toes, thumbs to the top of the toenail. Inhale, wave your heart long once again. And then on an exhale, hinge forward. Your elbows will start to come out to the side. Rock the weight of your body a little bit more into the balls of your feet so it's not all the way to the back. Shoulders away from ears. Every inhale, you go longer. Every exhale, start to reach your chest to your thighs just a little bit more, kind of head down toward the mat. All right, inhale, lift up halfway again. Exhale, take your hands to your hips, send your elbows up toward the ceiling. Send your chin out, shoulder blades on your back. Inhale, come up to standing. Exhale, come to your Tadasana pose. 3 breaths here. On an inhale, palms lift, send chin up. Exhale, forward fold all the way down. Release your hands, breath in, halfway lift, offer your heart out. Exhale, fold, step back to top of plank pose. On an exhale, lower through chaturanga. We're gonna hover here, untuck toes, For upward facing dog, or if you prefer to take a cobra right now, please take that. Exhale, take it up and back to downward facing dog. Inhale, right leg is up. Bend your knee, open up through your hips. Drop the right shoulder slightly. And then start to take some really big circles with your right knee. So take 3 circles in one direction. I tend to take the forward direction first, but maybe you've got something else. And then 3 in the other direction. Just really kind of finding your range of motion, working on mobility. And then place your foot next to the other. Left leg up and back, bend knee, open up through your hips. And then 3 circles as wide as you can make them with your knee. And then switch directions whenever you're ready. Really try to exaggerate it. And then come back to downward facing dog. On an inhale, right leg comes up once again. On an exhale, place your foot between your hands toward right thumb. Really lift up on your left toes. So maybe you don't have to lift up your right hand. Drop your left knee down. We're going to take Anjaneyasana. Arms lift, shoulder blades down. And it's a little bit more challenging if your back toes are untucked, because in getting your heel to point straight up requires just a little bit more activity. So scissor your thighs together, drop your hips down, and then let's take a heart opener here. So on an exhale, cactus arms like your elbows are tapped behind you. Keep your hips low. And then on an exhale, drop your hands down toward the mat. Shift your hips back. We're going to take half splits. Wiggle the right foot forward if you need. Flex your toes. Inhale, lengthen. Exhale, bow. And then again, you guys know this, a little bit of zhuzh. You're going to pull your right heel along the mat. You'll likely feel a little bit more activation. All right, inhale, lift up halfway. Or weight to the left hand. Right hand, attack your right hip back. And then we're going to take an open arm twist here. If you prefer not to lift up your right arm for shoulder issues, that's completely fine. You just point your elbow back or lift up your fingertips. Keep having that activity like your right hip is drawing back. And then on an exhale, release the right hand down. Bend into the right knee, tuck the back toes, lift up the back knee, low lunge. Step your right foot back to meet your left. Option to keep the leg lifted. And then take a flow, take your vinyasa. Exhale, lower, keeping the right leg hovered. Then drop it down, untuck both toes. Inhale for your back bend. Exhale, downward facing dog. Deep breath in, full breath out. Inhale, left leg up and back. You're gonna place your foot between your hands, lift up way high on your right toes. So maybe you don't have to lift up the left hand as you come all the way forward. Drop the right knee, and then when you're ready, Anjaneyasana, enter your posture, drop through your hips. And then we're gonna take that heart opener on an exhale, hands face toward the front, bring your elbows back like they touch behind you, keep your right hip drawing forward, scissoring your thighs. And then on an exhale, take your hands down to the mat, shift the hips back, half splits, Ardha Hanumanasana, flex your toes forward, reach your heart, exhale, hinge over. Just breathe. And then we take that open twist into half splits, lift up halfway, weight to your right hand or fingertips, left hip tacks back. So really actually take your hands here and you probably can feel a little bit of a shift. And then if and when you're ready, left fingertips come up, flexing through the left toes. And on an exhale, reach your left hand back down, rebend to the front knee, pop up the back knee, low lunge, take your left foot back to meet your right, perhaps keep it hovered, optional vinyasa, option to hover through your chaturanga. Deep inhale and full exhale. Soften through your jaw, soften through your face. And then when you're ready, right leg up and back again. Exhale, place the foot between the hands toward right thumb. All right, more weight to left palm, put the right fingertips up, spin all your toes over to the right. First taking a little bit of an IT band stretch before we move into Vasistasana, side plank. So give yourself a little bit of stability, a little bit of a stretch, remind your body where you're gonna go. And then as you're ready, you're gonna start to step your right foot back and you can hover here, or you can place your foot on either side. Give yourself some stability first. And then let's play with that bind that we talked about at the beginning of class. Start to bend your right knee in close to you, peace fingers to your right toe, and then maybe start to extend the leg up. Perhaps you just like, I'm fine right here, just hold on to my toe. But maybe you can extend up, keep flexing through your left foot. Okay, things are gonna get fun here. On an exhale, you're going to bend your left knee a little bit, pivot onto your left toes, and bring your right foot all the way back to the front of the mat. Nice, just like that. All right, so keep your right hand, your big right peace fingers and thumb around your big toe. Step your left foot just a bit in, pivot the heel down. We're gonna go directly into a triangle pose here. So begin to straighten the left leg, take your left hand to the left hip, rotate the right rib cage upward, look beyond your left shoulder, press to the outer edge of left foot, and then when you're ready, left fingertips come up for your full triangle pose. Cool. Keeping the bind of your right foot. Look down toward that toe, rebend into the right knee, and we're in now in a side ankle pose with leg fingers up toward the ceiling. You might find you need to walk the left foot back just a bit. Keep dropping your right hip. Keep wrapping your right rib cage up toward the ceiling. Get long. Keeping the bind. On an exhale, look down to the mat. Take your left hand down to the mat so that you're in a forward fold. Step your left foot forward, forward fold. All right, real fun stuff. Take your left hand to your left hip. We're gonna move into that hand to toe pose. We still have not taken our hand away from our right foot. If it's come away, just bring it back. Shift the weight to the left, a little bend to the knee. Start to come up to standing. So you've got your foot in towards you. And then, as you'd like, we're gonna start to change it up. Extend your right leg out in front of you, dropping your right hip. Just work on your balance for this moment. Don't worry about it too much. Don't think about it too much. Get out of your head. And then we're going to take it all the way back down, maintaining that bind. Bending through your left knee, come all the way down to the mat. Once your foot is down, then release your toe. Maybe give yourself a bit of a ragdoll pose, wave it out. And then when you're ready, on an inhale, lengthen out halfway, Ardha Uttanasana. Exhale, forward fold, Uttanasana. Press through your feet, take your arms up toward the ceiling, send your chin up. And then on an exhale, take your hands to your heart center. Leave them here, or bring them alongside your body in Tadasana. 3 breaths. When you're ready, inhale, hands come up, chin sends up, press through your feet. Exhale, forward fold. Release your hands down toward the mat. Inhale, halfway lift, fingertips find resistance to get something. Exhale, fold, make your way back to downward facing dog. Take a vinyasa if you would like one. Really deep breath in and a very full breath out. All right, left leg up and back. And then on an exhale, place your foot between your hands towards your left thumb. You're gonna take same sequence, other side. Weight to right palm, peel your left fingertips up toward the ceiling. Spin all your toes away from you. You're gonna stay here for several breaths. So really press your right hand away. Let that help you lift up. And then we're going to transition to the side plank. So a little bend to your right knee is usually gonna help you out here as you begin to bring your left leg back, stacking, hovering, or maybe staggering. So first, let's find our stability. And then we're gonna seek to shake it up, attempting not to hold on too much to successes, failures, outcomes, peace fingers and thumb toward the left big toe. All right, so find your balance here. Keep pressing away from the mat. And then if you're ready, extend the left leg up. Keep flexing through the bottom foot. All right, keeping the bind best you can. We're gonna come back to the low lunge. So look forward, spin forward, left foot comes down, kind of like where we started. Cool, yes. All right, keeping the bind, step your right foot in slightly. So you're gonna angle the foot down because we're gonna move toward a pyramid pose. left hip draws back. Inner elbow of the left arm comes forward, right hand to right hip. Wrap the left rib cage up. Keep pressing through the outer edge of your right foot. And then as you're ready, right fingertips come up. Trikonasana with bind. Continue to breathe. All right, look down towards the left foot. Bend into your left knee. We're moving into a side angle pose. So if you're like me, you might find, oh, I just popped my right foot in too far. So wiggle it back out. So you can start to drop your left thigh, moving closer to parallel with the ground. Left hip draws back. Right arm up toward the ceiling. If you would like, always an option to just have it at your hip as well, or draped behind your back. Get long. Keep pressing through the outer edge of your right foot. All right, keeping the bind of the left hand on left toe. On an exhale, you're gonna drop your right hand down to the mat, pivot into the ball of your back foot. You're back to this low lunge. Step your right foot forward fold with bind. Right hand to right hip. We're gonna start to stand up on the right leg. So take a little bend to your right knee, shift the weight to the right leg, and then begin to come up towards standing. Your knee closer in towards your elbow or your shoulder, depending on how your body is created, how you're built. And then left leg comes out. Try to drop your left hip so it's not like bumping out to the side. Inner elbow of your left arm is pointing up. Just breathe. And then keeping the bind best you can, start to bend both knees, come all the way down. When your foot drops and touches the mat, then release the toe. A little bit of a ragdoll pose, perhaps a sway. And then inhale, halfway lift, look out. Exhale, fold, deep forward fold. Rise to stand, palms lift, gaze up. Exhale, hands to heart. Leave them here, or place your arms alongside your body in Tadasana. 3 full rounds of breath. And then when you're ready, eyes open or closed. Inhale, palms go up. Exhale, forward fold. Release hands down, breath in, offer your heart out, Ardha Uttanasana. And then on an exhale, bow to yourself, fold forward, and take a vinyasa if you'd like. We'll meet in downward facing dog. Inhale, and exhale. I'm gonna take that same bit of a sequence and we're gonna add on to it. Right leg comes up and back. On an exhale, place the foot between the hands. We're gonna move toward the side plank. So if you'd like to move through the IT band stretch, please do that. Or you can start to simply move immediately into your side plank in the way that you prefer. Give yourself a few breaths to find a posture. And then we move to bind. Right peace fingers and thumb to big toe. Begin to extend the right leg up. Maybe leg comes straight, maybe not. Take a look down to your left hand. And on an exhale, you're going to bring it forward, keeping the bind best you can. Step the left foot in just a bit. Start to angle it down. Seal down to the outer leg, outer foot that is. And then you're going to come into triangle pose. If you take your left hand or left hip, it kind of helps you remind yourself how to lean back, wrap your right rib cage toward the ceiling. Left fingertips come up. If you like, press to the ball of your right foot. Look back down to the right foot, rebend into the knee, adjust if you need, side angle pose. Keep lots of length through the left leg, get very strong. All right, look down towards your right toe. Pivot onto your left toes, left hand comes down, you're in a low lunge. You still have the bind to the right foot, step the left foot forward, hand to left hip. We're gonna come up to standing, maintaining, bind around big toe. And then extend right leg out in front of you. Stay here, or just gently rotate your right toes out to the right, and then move the entire leg out to the right as well. Keep pressing through the left foot really strongly. If you're feeling real sassy, look over your left shoulder. All right, keep that bind. Bring your right leg back to the front. Bending both knees. Step your right foot all the way down to the mat. Release the foot. Inhale, come up halfway. Exhale, fold. This time, bend both knees. Step your left foot all the way back so you're in a low lunge. And then we're going to move toward that lizard pose. So walk your right foot out to the side. Right hand is to the inside. Right toe slightly at an angle. And I'm going to take a knee down approach for this one. If you would prefer to keep your knee up for this lizard pose, do it as best for your practice. Reach your heart forward. Find space between ears and shoulders. And then on an exhale, you're going to start to come down, maybe to a block or just bend elbows, or maybe all the way down to your forearms. For this variation, we're doing the variation where you're pressing down through your foot. So your right knee is pointing up and ever so slightly reaching in towards your right shoulder. Continue to press through the left foot for stability. Press the right for activation. All right, lift up halfway. You're still pressing into the right foot. I'm going to bring my right foot in just a little bit closer. I'm going to pop up onto my back toes. So if you're already there, you're good to go. And we're going to play with that bind that we were talking about. So start to drop your right shoulder and then reach your right hand behind you, back of hand to the right hip or maybe all the way onto your bum. Pull your right knee in towards your shoulder. Press through the right foot. This really, really helps you out. And then you can play with lifting up your left hand or maybe reaching all the way back, grasping your shirt or even your fingertips. Keep pressing through the foot. Bring your right knee in towards your right shoulder. Breathe, breathe, breathe. Lengthen through the crown of your head. And then when you're ready, unravel left hand, unravel right. Wiggle your right foot to the inside so you're back into a low lunge. Step your left foot forward, forward fold. Breath in, lift out halfway. Exhale, fold. Take a moment to acknowledge the sides of your body, the similarities and differences. And then come up to standing. Lift hands up toward the ceiling. Exhale, hands to heart. Stay here in Samastiti or Tadasana for 3 breaths. On an inhale, press your feet and get as tall as you can, lifting your palms up. On an exhale, take a forward fold. Breath in, offer your heart out. And then on an exhale, bow to yourself. Step back to downward facing dog or take the vinyasa if that's something that suits you today. Deep breath in, full breath out. And then on your inhale, extend your left leg out. And then on an exhale, place your foot between your hands towards your left thumb. So just like other side, we're going to move to side plank. So if you'd like to move in through the IT band stretch first, give yourself a little bit of reminder of your foundation. Please do that. Or if you'd like to move directly, find your balance first. And then we're going to seek to find a challenge here. So whatever that means for you, maybe just staying with your breath a little bit more. Perhaps it's removing some judgment, or maybe it's simply taking your hand to your foot. Extend up the left leg if and when you're ready. All right, and then keeping the bind best you can, look down to your hand, pivot on your back foot, so your left hand and the foot come down. We're going to move into a triangle pose. So step the right foot in slightly, left hip draws back, right hand maybe even to your left rib cage to guide it open. Left fingertips up toward the ceiling. Left inner elbow is going to point forward. Give yourself even a little bit more lift here. Can you find more space to the left side of your body? A little bend in your left knee might be necessary to do that. Okay, look down to the left foot, bend into left knee, adjust the right leg back just a bit if you need, so you can drop your left thigh and pull your left hip back, side angle pose. Really reach out to the right leg. All right, gaze down toward the mat, pivot into the ball of the back foot, right hand comes down. You're in a low lunge with the bind, step your right foot forward, forward fold. Right hand to right hip. I'm gonna make a way to standing, bend to the right knee, Press the right foot, come up. All right, fun times here, hand to toe pose. Extend your left heel forward, left leg becomes straight or it does not. And then start to rotate your left inner thigh up toward the ceiling. So your toes start to point out to the left, and then take that cue. Your entire leg moves out to the left. And again, how you feeling? If you want to shake things up even further, look over your right shoulder. All right, send your gaze back to front if you took it. Bring your left leg back to front. Bend through both knees. Bring your foot all the way down to the mat. Yes, then finally release the foot. Hands come down. Step your right foot all the way to the back of the mat. Low lunge. Wiggle your left foot to the outside, coming to your lizard pose. Left toes slightly pointed out to the side. Prevents a little bit of like crimping, let's say. If you kept your right leg up, do that. If you drop your the left leg on the other side, drop the right. Inhale, reach forward, give yourself space. And then on an exhale, come to your lizard pose. So again, for this variation, your left knee is gently drawing in towards your left shoulder. You can make this happen, facilitate this a bit more by pressing through the left foot. Allow your heart to sink. And then begin to press up into your hands. If your back knee is down, tuck your back toes to lift up the back knee. And we're going to play with the bind. So I'm going to bring my left foot in just a little bit closer. I like to have my, my upper left arm into my left shin and knee. So bend both your elbows so you can start to scoop your right shoulder closer to your knee. And take my left hand underneath me, back of hand to my left hip, facing away. Squeeze it in together. And then play with balance with your right hand, hovering it up, or maybe reaching around, grasp your shirt, or grasp your fingertips. Right thigh pulls back, reach your heart forward. Breathe. And then when you're ready, release spine, right hand comes down first, and then the left. And then wiggle your left foot to the inside, so you're in a low lunge once again. Step your left foot back to meet your right. If you'd like to take a vinyasa, now is your chance. We'll meet in downward facing dog. Once in your downward facing dog, take 3 long inhales and exhales. Shoulders away from ears. Soft through the back of your neck. Bend your knees, look towards the top of your mat, and then on an exhale, step or hop to the top. Inhale, lengthen out halfway. Exhale, fold. Lift your hands up toward the ceiling. And then keeping your feet hips width distance apart, bend through your knees. Coming into chair pose, fingertips wrap toward each other. Just keep on sitting, sitting, sitting. And just go lower, 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 lower. Until eventually your bum hits the ground, rock back, Navasana pose. Pose, hands to the backs of your thighs first. Lift up your shins, shoulder blades back. Flex through your feet. Reach your arms out in front of you, palms up. If you'd like to stay here, you can, or if you'd prefer more dynamic movement, we'll move together. Inhale, lean back, keep your shoulders lifted, look towards your feet. Exhale, pull knees into chest. Inhale, extend outward. Exhale, pull in. Inhale, extend outward. Exhale, pull in, and drop your feet to your mat. We're going to take a fire log pose. So for fire log pose, double pigeon. I'm going to start first. So it's like you start in Sukhasana pose. Right shin parallel to the front of your mat. Lean back, flex your left foot. Place your left heel on top of your right knee. And then start to drop your left knee toward your right heel. Adjust as you need, flexing both feet really strongly. Sit up tall, shoulder blades back. And then as you're ready, start to hinge forward. There might be the tiniest bit of leaning forward, or you might find you can come all the way and move your arms with you as you need to provide you with support. On your exhale, see if you can fall a little bit further into this pose. Is there anything that you're holding on to? And as you're ready, start to walk yourself up. Bring your hands back behind you. Uncross the top leg. Keep your foot more toward the left side of your mat. Lift up the right knee. Place your right foot more to the right side of your mat. Drop both knees over to the right. Center knees up to center. Drop both knees over to the left. So you might feel your femur moving around in the socket just a bit. Getting a little bit of blood flow back. And then take it back up. We're going to take fire log, opposite side. So this time, left leg is on the bottom, shin parallel to the front of your mat. Flex through the foot, flex through the right, heel on knee, knee toward right heel, walk your way up. Use your hands to adjust the flesh of your thighs and your bum as you need. Find a tall spine, and keeping your hands here to support you, start to tilt forward. The distance with which you tilt forward is completely up to you and your anatomy. Notice if you can melt into the pose a bit more. Are you holding yourself back? On way is it? And then as you're ready, start to walk your hands closer to you. Lean back. Uncross the top foot. Place it more toward the right side of your mat. And then place your left foot more toward the left side of your mat. Drop both knees over to the left. Your right hip will likely come away from the mat. Send them both up toward the ceiling and then rotate over to the right once again. And then come back up to center. Place your feet so that they are in line with your hips. Reach your arms out in front of you. And then very slowly, slowly, slowly start to wave yourself all the way down. See if you can keep your feet firmly planted onto the mat. They are going to be inspired to lift up and away. Do not give in to that inspiration as best you can. And come all the way down. Take a bridge pose here. So make sure that your shoulder blades are firmly supporting you underneath. You're going to press to the back of your head and slide your shoulders down. Walk your feet in a little bit closer to you. Arms alongside your body. Give yourself a moment of rest here first. And then press through both feet and tops of shoulders and wave yourself up. Grip the sides of your mat. Pinkies in toward the mat with palms facing each other. Or if you want to take the other variation, shrug your arms underneath your shoulders, interlace your fingers, press down through the pinky, press down through your forearms. Reach out to the tops of your thighs. A little tension to your bum, reaching your tailbone like it could reach the backs of your knees. And still take long, slow, deep breaths. Continue to press down through your arms. And then unclasp your hands if you've taken the class variation. Just so many binds in this class. And shrug your shoulders, lift up your heels, and then wave your spine all the way down to the mat. First, take your feet a little wider, drop your knees toward each other. Maybe take one hand on heart, one hand on belly. 3 breaths. And bring your knees back up to center. Walk the soles of your feet toward each other. We're coming to a Supta Padangusthasana. So a reclined bound ankle. If you prefer to have knees in toward each other instead, stay where you are. Drop your knees out to the side. Make adjustments that you might need to. Arms alongside your body so you can move your flesh or your bum away. And then once again, the positioning of your hands is up to you. Perhaps arms out, similar to a Shavasana pose. Hands on thighs, belly, or heart, any combination. If you're in that Supta Padangusthasana, start to bring your hands to the backs of your thighs to help you guide your knees up toward each other. Pull your knees in towards your chest. Bring your arms around your shins. One final bind of this class. Reach your forehead up towards your knees. Give yourself a very loving bind. And then as you're ready on an exhale, start to come down to your final pose of this class, which is Shavasana. If you'd like to take another version, perhaps you want to take the Supta Padangusthasana or knees bent toward each other. Begin to move yourself into the position that is best for you to close out this practice. And although we have been practicing so many binds, attempt to unbind yourself from your thoughts, from your expectations, from anything that you might consider a success or a non-success. Releasing attachment from these physical shapes, these poses, these postures. And simply allowing your consciousness to rise to the forefront and to be. Slowly and mindfully draw in a deeper breath. Noticing the changes this creates in your physical body. And then exhale to release it. Roll over onto one side, pausing for several moments. And then make your way to a seated posture for a very brief reflection on the practice. On an inhale, bring your arms up toward the ceiling, palms to press and your chin up. And on an exhale, take your thumbs to space between your eyebrows for clarity of thought, to your lips for clarity of speech, and to your heart for clarity of action. By your head to your heart, acknowledging the binds that we create, whether mindfully or through habit. We recognize them for what they are and take the time to release those binds when appropriate, giving yourself space, room to grow, room to let go. Thank you so much for sharing your practice with me and helping me to deepen my own personal practice. I'm eternally grateful for you, and I can't wait to see you again. In the name of the highest good, namaste.